Sitting in my mobile coffee shop,
Making videos about my transvestite children for TikTok. What I like about Record Lover is that Record Lover is looking beyond TikTok to see what other content Dan is putting out.
Oh.
And the Great Start Coffee Cart went to Facebook and posted this recently, 2 days ago. Says, wow, it's going to be hot out this week. Out of an abundance of caution, I'm going to close the coffee shop at 9 a on Monday and Tuesday instead of 10. Safety first.
What does that mean?
And there's a photo of him staring up at the sky with the sun beaming down on him in front of his coffee shop.
Does he not serve iced coffee?
Mike, you don't understand. At 9 a.m., everyone's cool. By 9:30, people are dying.
Right, but like the mobile coffee shop has AC, right? People need. I don't get
Mike,
it.
it's the morning. It doesn't peak. The heat doesn't peak at 9:30 a.m. He's closing. He's closing at 9 because there's a heat wave. Are you crazy?
Yeah, I don't understand it.
I don't understand it at all. It's really sad.
I never. There's an angle we've come upon the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It never dawned on me that he's also a lazy guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And
Like, we're realizing that now.
People in our Discord channel talk about that. They're like, how is this guy making a living? He's only open 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. And someone else was just like, that's why he's begging for money on the internet all the time.
Right.
He's a lazy guy. He just wants to make pottery.
Well, he does a damn fine job at that. No one else is allowed in, but he does it well.
He's amazing. All right, let's get an update. Speaking of pottery, on the art studio. And I'm going to say it right now. I don't care what time of day it is when you're watching or listening to this. We are doing a drinking game. Every time Dan says safe space,
All right.
take a shot.
Oh, this is going to be tough.
If you lose your damn tape measure all the time and you need one strapped to your wrist so that you don't lose it all the time and you're also someone who cares about safe spaces, then this may be the video for you because...
Now, just that right there. If you're a guy who loses your tape measure all the time and you care about safe spaces, this is the video for you.
Finally!
Mike, you and I are like so insiders with this guy now that we hear that we go, yeah, okay. Think about if this was the first video we watched, this guy would be like, what? This guy's crazy.
That's a good point.
Because I actually watched this on Drew's show.
Yeah.
And Mark Fellhauer was just like, what kind of niche audience is this? I didn't even think of that. I'm just like, no, this is normal. This is what he thought. This is what he does.
But imagine if you are the guy that he's like, my two things, what's big to me in life? Tape measures and safe spaces.
Safe spaces.
I just can't find any content.
He's going to elaborate on that here.
I'm both of those things. I am someone...
I'm losing my tape measure guy, and I'm also wanting safe spaces, dude.
I'll tell you, I love making kids feel safe, and I love losing my tape measure.
be the video for you because I'm both of those things. I am someone who loses my tape measure all the time, but I'm also the dad to a trans kiddo and another kiddo who's part of the LGBTQ community.
I love the way he talks about the lesbian daughter. I got a trans kid, and the other one, also is, I guess, different or something.
Gay.
Yeah, just gay.
So passe.
Yeah, I mean, I had gay friends growing up, so it's not that big a deal, but whatever. I guess that's all she could do.
And again, to listen to the phrasing where he's like, I lose my tape measure all the time, but also I have a trans kid. That's how he says it.
Yeah.
As if to say, like, if you met someone that's like, I'm the father to a trans kid. It's like, oh, do you have your tape measure on you right now? Yeah, of course I do. I don't lose my tape measure.
What kind of silly question is that? I have an extra one in the car.
And creating safe spaces is really important to me. Now, I know the last time I posted one of these shop videos, somebody said, why would you do that? Why would you want to do that? Well, any money that I make from that space, from this at all, goes back into my art studio that supports kids in vulnerable communities. And honestly, it goes back into vulnerable communities as a whole.
And also a windowless van that I'm saving up for. This guy is a creep. I'm sorry. I didn't think that before, but I'm starting to come around. People have said some things about how Dan has an affinity towards children.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But
the free hugs from a vaccinated
free
dad.
hugs was a weird. That was a tough one.
That
for me
shirt
to...
he's wearing is really weird. But also this he's obsessed with safe spaces, and that's like a red flag for me.
Yeah, Jerry Sandusky made a safe space for kids too. Is that
right? Like
Wrote a book
anyone
about
who's like obsessed with children's safety all the time, they're hiding in plain sight.
Right.
Like, why do you think children aren't safe? Well, because there's guys like me around. Like I'm not worried about children's safe spaces. I don't talk about it at all because I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. Dan, I'm kidding. You're good.
Yeah, we're just joking around.
Just joking around, buddy.
Communities,
Totally
and honestly, just it goes back into vulnerable communities as a whole. I did a ton of kids' gift bags for a local food pantry. I did a ton of kids' gift bags for Pride.
When you give him money, it goes back into vulnerable communities as a whole because he put crayons, yes, I said crayons, and a coloring book in a bag and handed it to some stranger. Cool.
Does he go on to list that he tweaked his arm, patting himself on the back for all those things?
He's in a cast the next video. Ah, damn it.
Now, my shoulder hurts when it rains, but I did do all those things.
Making kids happy, creating safe spaces, and creating joy.
Okay, let me back it up. And this is just why making kids happy, creating safe spaces.
And by the way, let's not forget, I believe these art studio updates only come every once in a while because of us. Like
Yes.
that, maybe I don't know if that's an egotistical thing to say.
No, I
but
think you're
really
right.
believe that because of us, every once in a while he has to throw out like the art studio. It's still happening. Remember, I'm making an art studio.
He's raised over $10,000 for it, so I would hope. Not to mention, he's had 2 kilns given to him for
Any
this
day
art
now.
studio.
By the way,
There's
again,
a ton of kids'
I've
gift
built a
bags.
house that they're painting now. It's done. It started like 6 months ago.
Congratulations. And so, Mike, I assume that you needed donations through a GoFundMe, and then you and the skirt did that yourselves and built that?
No GoFundMe needed. It took a short amount of time, and now it's done.
So wait. So you're telling me that like you could hire contractors that know how to do that kind of stuff, and they will just go do it?
I didn't lift a finger.
Oh, weird. Because maybe like you're not good at that kind of thing, so maybe it makes more sense to
it would
hire a
take me this
professional.
amount of time to do it.
Could you imagine if Mike was building a house by himself for the last 4 years? He's just like, yep, well, we finally got gas running into the kitchen. So
my
there's
update
that.
would be like this guy. I'd be like, I've got mugs. Does anyone want a mug?
Right.
For Pride, making kids happy, creating safe spaces, and creating joy. Those are all things that are really important to me. So any money that I generate from this space goes to that space. I have to tell you, though, this journey all started with this bracelet, this tape measure bracelet that is impeccably accurate in my perspective and very durable.
Could you imagine if there was a tape measure that wasn't accurate? What would even be the point of that? Why would that even exist? Are those actual inches? I don't know, give or take.
This is between 3 and 7 inches. We're not.
Just round it off. Whatever, man. What do you need to know?
I did it because I liked it. And then I realized that the owner of this small business is a good human being.
Okay, so now he's promoting another small business, but he never actually gives you the name or URL or anything. This is weird because he's talking about this bracelet that he's all excited about, that's also a tape measure. But for some reason, he never explains where to get it.
It's too bad. I wanted one.
Well, don't worry. Someone in the comments actually posted the link because he didn't do it.
So, supporting a good human being, supporting a good small business, getting a quality product, and then having whatever revenue that I make off of it go back into a place that's a safe space for kids in vulnerable communities.
Drink.
I don't know. It seems pretty win-win to me. What do you think?
I think you're losing your mind, Dan. You're asking me what I think? I can go months without losing a tape measure. It's amazing.
Am I wrong here, or is he saying he's the good person?
Well, so he was talking. No, I think he's talking about the owner of the. But he never brings it up.
No, because he says support a good person, and then I put the money into this asshole's small business. I thought that's what he was saying.
I thought
like,
he
give
was
money to me, I'm a good guy, and then I give the money to someone else.
I swear to God, I thought he was talking about whoever created that bracelet, but never gave the name.
I think what he's saying is, give me money so that I can support Bracelet Guy.
So then Astrus Moon in the comments says, I love my designed laser invented by at Copper Cactus Collective and the limited edition for at Quinky launch for supporters. Love my black, needs CM. Oh, she needs metric apparently.
But see, Daniel's like, no, don't support them directly. Support me so I can support them.
Well, right, because in the comments section, so she at tags them, this company.
Yeah.
And then there's no response from Dan, but Copper Cactus Collective responds to that and says, glad you love it. The Quinky ones are beautiful. I love making those too. I mean, I don't want to get too involved in this world, but like, what is Dan doing? You might be right. He might have been patting himself on the back.
Yes.
Like, and the owner's an amazing guy.
That's why he doesn't promote
Jesus.
the business itself. He's like, hey, support me so I can keep supporting other good people. I think that's what he's saying.
Why am I giving him the benefit of the doubt? I don't even know why. Like, I'm like, no, Mike. He can't be that egotistical and crazy.
No, certainly
not Dan Alexander. Come on. Talking about the same guy here? Yeah, you're right. I'm an idiot. This next one goes back to an early version of Dan.
Yes, we've seen this a lot. You showed this at the live show. I did a little last week where if you go into real early Dan, like COVID Dan, when he started his channel, he was footloose and fancy free. This guy,
COVID Dan's a blast.
Yeah,
this is great.
So I'd like to address the issue of dating in your 30s. Woo! Okay, so dating in your 30s is like taking a big old box, nice big box full of broken plates. And you take it and you go, you reach in that box, you find the least broken plate, and you start licking all the food off of it. And try not to.
Whoa. These broken plates are also dirty?
that's right.
Why would there be a box of dirty broken plates?
Just in case you ever need them.
I didn't understand that at all.
In case you need an analogy for dating in your 30s.
I also like that he goes, there's a box of broken plates, and then what you do is you break them more. Like, you already established they're broken, but now there's also food particles on them, and you're licking them like a creep.
But this is also, so we played a video last week. We may have it at the live show as well, because there was a couple of them where he's like, where my fellas at? Where my dogs at? Where my guys in their 30s that just want to relate to a fella? Like, he's trying to get these straight white male followers, oddly. He's like looking for more followers like him. He's like, I have all these kids following me. And then I think he started cultivating his audience because he's doing this, I don't know, Hannah Burner bit where he's like, doesn't it suck to date in your 30s?
Yeah,
I guess that just got in like the girls algorithm or something.
And what's weird about this is that he started his TikTok. He's told us this to communicate with his 2 children because he had joint custody to get to communicate with them all the time. It's
just not true now that we've seen that's just a lie.
Obviously not. Obviously not.
You reach in that box, you find the least broken plate, and you start licking all the food off of it. And try not to cut yourself while you're doing it. Okay, so let's add in COVID. This is what dating in your 30s and COVID's like.
It's a paper bag over his head.
Enough said.
What? Mike, maybe I'm dumb. What the fuck does any of that mean? What's the analogy here?
So the paper bag is now over his head. Why was the first part like a box of broken plates that are dirty?
Right. That you're licking. That could cut you. And then he goes, and then COVID comes, and then you put a paper bag over your head. Like, none of this made sense to me.
Enough said.
You know what he should do? Let's not talk about dating in your 30s during COVID. Yeah. I want to talk about being a gay male and trying to date women. That's an interesting angle for him to take. Because I'd be like, yeah, what's that like? Yeah, no, not hypothetically. I'm talking about Dan Alexander.
You're saying not enough people are talking about that, so it might be a good market for him to.
I'm saying that I'm personally curious why he's dating women. I don't understand it. I want to know more about it.
He's hetero. He tells us all the time he's all man, baby.
Yeah, he says that too much. He talks about safe spaces for children and how he's hetero way too much. I'm not buying it.
I'm just a straight man with a thirst for puss.
Oh, God. We got one more video kind of from Dan that's another amazing made-up story with an interaction that didn't happen. But first...
Yay, Super Chats!
Nancram coming in on supertip.gg/WATP with $75. Thank you, Nancram, for that.
Sorry, didn't know you don't like the the A guy label. Take this as an apology. Just don't use it for any procedures.
I'm okay with being the abortion guy. It's fine. But thank you very much, Nan Crab. And I won't use that money towards any procedures. Anonymous coming in.
The reason I close a wall of 9 a.m. is because it gets really hot. In order to avoid heat stroke, I take vulnerable kids to my art studio. We skinny dip so we can lower our body temperature. Just keeping my kiddos healthy, happy, and safe.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about.
Wow.
I'm not even sure if that was AI Dan or the real one. I can't even tell
I
anymore.
think you're getting confused.
Are still $5. Mike is powerless to resist the Woke Dad's intro music. We all are. It was
I
proven.
do always bob my head.
It was proven in Boston. People went nuts for that song.
Yes.
Cool Cut Casting, $5. Carl and Adam would fit right in with Woke Dad. Apparently, Ava is definitely not a man because men get to make the final call on who counts as a woman. Yeah, that was an interesting segment we had yesterday with Adam was on Chrissy's show and Ava got herself way involved in that. And then we invited Ava on the WATP to discuss that.
Chrissy Mayer has 100,000 followers.
Over 100,000 followers, yeah.
I was stunned by that. Wow. Good for
Well,
her.
I was watching Chad Zumach's show today, and he claims that she bought those views, which coming from Chad is quite rich.
Well, sure.
It takes one to know one there.
It was much higher than I would have guessed.
No, she does very well. She's she does a very good job of getting herself involved in a lot of different worlds and with a lot of different creators and streamers, and a lot of it is very like right-wing political stuff.
I've noticed that. Yeah.
That's like one thing I know about politics. People are very passionate about it, right and left. Guys who are down the middle, like me and Mike,
I know.
We're just like, man, whatever. Don't give a shit. I care about politics almost as much as I care about the NBA at this point. It's like, I'm like, oh, the Thunder 1-7, cool.
Oh, that's on again. Oh, they're doing the election again.
Good for them. Yeah, that's good for them. I'm happy for them. All right, so this is our last Woke Dad video of the day, but not of ever.
And we're back in modern times. This is just the other day.
Okay, yes, this is an update from Tuesday.
So today I went into the Dollar Tree because I knew they sold Sesame Street socks, and I was standing there at the rack.
That's where, like, if we hadn't been watching Woke Dad a bunch, that's where you would have paused it.
Another example. Another example, just like, what is this guy talking about? I'm at the Dollar General because, of course, I got to get my Sesame Street socks.
Not because I got to get them, because I know they have them.
Right.
What does that mean?
It means he knows he can purchase Sesame Street socks at the Dollar General, which is something I wouldn't have known.
That's to say he's been in the Dollar General before, seen the Sesame Street socks, and thought, not today, Dan.
someday you can save up and get the Sesame Street
Use
socks.
this later.
I also didn't know the Dollar General sold clothing.
Neither did I.
Yeah, I would have no idea. I thought it was like a convenience store for poor people, but I guess there's also socks in there.
So today I went into the Dollar Tree because I knew they sold Sesame
I keep saying Dollar General, Dollar Tree. I'm sorry, Dollar Tree.
Street socks, and I was standing there at the rack, and a black woman comes up and she goes, "They have the best socks, don't they?" And I go,
whenever I'm purchasing socks, I'm in a store and I'm purchasing socks, there's always someone who wants to bend my ear about it. Like, you're buying socks. So I'm like, oh, gee, hear this again. Everyone wants to.
Can I just buy footwear in peace?
Yeah, everyone wants to chat about my socks for some reason.
Well, he also, you saw there, it's very minor, and maybe I'm, examining it too much, but to me, I found it very interesting that he goes, a woman. And if he just said a woman came up to me, to him, this story would mean nothing.
Right.
So he has to, and he goes, it's a black woman.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
And I gotta be honest, the number of times he has interactions with minorities is pretty incredible based on where he lives in central New York State.
Well, they seek him out. He's like a magnet.
I was gonna say, how many stories does he tell where he starts the conversation? Isn't it almost always someone coming up to him and talking to him first?
Yeah, they approach him.
Like he's even got his earbuds in. He's not even trying to talk to people. They're just like, they can't wait to have a conversation based on the shirt he's wearing or the socks he's buying or something.
Sir, I need a life-changing message. You know where I can find one?
I'm looking for a hug or maybe a high five. Are you my guy? I got you. All right, let me start over. I apologize. Things got wonky there.
So today I went into the Dollar Tree because I knew they sold Sesame Street socks, and I was standing there at the rack and a black woman comes up and she goes, "They have the best socks, don't they?" And I go, "Oh, well, I'm just looking for the Sesame Street ones." And she goes, "That seems pretty odd. Why would you just be looking for the Sesame Street ones?"
And I said, "None of your business, bitch. Why are you even talking to me?" What kind of question is that? I'm looking for Sesame Street socks. And by the way, as soon as a grown man goes, "Oh, I'm just looking for Sesame Street socks," I'm like, okay, I'm going to stand over here now.
Don't tell me why that is, friend.
And I said, "Well, it's my way of silently protesting them trying to defund PBS. It's just not right."
Remember that. He's silently protesting.
Sure.
Okay? Which is a noble thing to do, I would imagine.
Oh, very.
Yeah. But I don't think he's all that silent, because watch what happens.
And she had such a stunned look on her face. She didn't expect that out of me. And then she gave me a high five. She went from this to a high five. And
I know that if somebody told me they were buying Sesame Street socks because of the defunding of PBS, my jaw would drop.
Slap it high, my man.
First, my jaw would drop and smash the floor. And then second thing I'd be doing is high-fiving this guy. Like, wow, this is great.
That's
was
a
more than-
joke. Literally, you just made the joke a second ago about like high-fiving over
Yes.
socks. Like it's such a hysterical thing, the idea that a stranger would come up to you and high-five you, that we make jokes out of it. And Daniel is presenting it as a real story.
Yep, this is
Someone
what
came up
really
to him
happened
and
to him today.
this to a high five. And I was more than happy to give her the high five. And she said, "That is amazing."
I touched a black person today, guys. Can you believe it? I washed my hands eventually, but not right away. I didn't want to make a beeline for the bathroom. I thought that'd be rude.
So I said, unfortunately, a lot of the people I see on a daily basis, even though they're going to see my socks, they won't understand my silent protests. And she said, "You know what? It doesn't matter if they understand or not. You're doing what's right for the right reasons." She said, "If you're standing..."
I don't know about that.
Mike, he's explaining how he did a thing today that he didn't expect anyone to understand.
Yeah.
And he's making a TikTok video about it to make sure that we all understand what he did today and why he did it.
Point.
This is a silent protest. He made a video. He made up a story about this just so he could make a video about buying Sesame Street socks because he wanted to get out the fact that they're defunding PBS and he's not happy about it.
But is that a silent protest in
It's
any
not.
way?
No.
Like, it's not supporting Sesame Street. I don't know how the money works, but
I have no idea.
I don't know how much money they're getting off those socks. But, like, it's not bringing Sesame Street back to PBS, and no one gets it. No one's like, "Oh, this guy's got Big Bird on his socks. Hey, I should call PBS and tell them to put Sesame Street back on."
It'd be like if I got a tattoo of Oscar the Grouch.
Right.
And you're like, "Oh, you're really an Oscar the Grouch?" Like, nah, you don't get it, man. This is more about the Trump administration than it is anything else.
It's
You're like,
so much deeper, brother.
yeah, I think you'd be like, "No, I think you just like Oscar the Grouch, man." I mean, at the end of the day, I think you just want to wear Sesame Street socks, dude. Don't act like this is a noble cause.
Also, like, we live in a time where you can still find, like, just go watch fucking Miss Rachel's YouTube channel or something. The kids will be fine.
Well, the PBS thing is odd, and I only know this because I listened to this show, No Agenda, which I highly recommend. But apparently, PBS brags about that only 1% of their funding comes from the federal government because they have other revenue streams, a lot of other revenue streams. And then the Trump administration comes in and goes, "Yeah, we don't need this public broadcasting. We're going to
closing our doors."
And they went, what are we going to do? We can't survive. It's just like, well, did you not need funding or you do? It's very confusing. But anyway, Dan.
Yeah, I thought it was already funded by viewers like you did.
That's true. Yes.
That was their whole thing.
Right. If you want it, yes. If you want PBS to stay on the air, wait for their Aaron Imholt drive and
The goal.
get a tote bag. Right.
Standing up and you're doing it proudly and you're being as loud as you can to make a difference.
See, this is so confusing.
But he's not
It's
being
a
loud.
silent protest where he's being, and this woman's like praising him for being as loud as he can. Let me back that up. This is so simple.
I'm going to yell my
What's
silent
right for the
protest
right
from the
reason.
mountaintop.
Right.
She said, "If you're standing up and you're doing it proudly and you're being as loud as you can to make a difference for good reasons, you're doing the right thing. So be loud, even if people don't understand it. Some people will. Hope you have a great day."
That is a garbled message right there. It doesn't make any sense. So we should do what's right, even if we don't get praised for it. But we would like to be praised for it. So we explained to people that we did do the thing that's right in order for them to praise us for it.
Right. It's like an anonymous donation that you tell everyone you made. You know?
Yes. Like Stuttering John, where it's just like, yeah, let's explain how much money he put in.
Now, I got to tell you, this threw off my rules to woke dad handbook that I pass out to people.
Okay.
The rules are off. Something's amiss here. When he brought up a black woman, I said for sure there's going to be racial harmony involved here. Daniel's going to give some message. But he's suggesting, and I speak a little Daniel Alexander, so tell me if you think I'm off here. He says, oh, black woman saw me, and when I told her I was protesting on behalf of Sesame Street, her jaw dropped and she high-fived me because she didn't expect that out of me. That's what he said.
Yes.
I take that to mean she didn't expect that out of some white guy because she doesn't know him.
Right.
All she knows is his race and gender.
Do white people hate Sesame Street?
Yeah, is that a thing? Because I watched Sesame Street as a kid.
Well, Jim Henson is the one who created it. He's a white guy.
Yeah, filthy straight white man.
I watched the doc about it.
That's right.
Very talented. One of the few talented white guys out there.
So to me, that was interesting that he threw that in there.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because Senior Flipper in the comments says curious. And honestly, don't think any ill intent on your part, but I don't understand when white people, and I'm white, do this. Why do you feel the need to qualify a black woman?
Yes.
Do you always include the race when it's a white person? Great question. And so Dan does respond to this. And he says, the black community is disproportionately affected by the actions of this administration, so it helps to illustrate her surprise to my reasoning. And he writes back, okay, that makes sense.
Black kids love Elmo way more than white kids.
That could be true. Elmo's dad is black, but that's not the point. The black community is disproportionately affected by the actions of this administration. I want one receipt on this. You got to show me your receipts on this.
I would now, if that was me commenting, I would have said, so is that why you made the lady black in your fictional story?
Right. That's a doozy right there. Dan, never stop making up stories.
Oh, he's the best.
We love them all.
Go to blindmike.net for Blind Mike, or go to whoarethese.com for Karl, and make sure you subscribe to both channels, or there will be no banter.